All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, it is that time of the week, folks, my weekly picks in the world of the NFL. Now, this past Thursday night, I picked the Broncos to take advantage of the Cleveland Browns not having the services of quarterback Baker Mayfield. But that was not the case as quarterback Case Keenum stepped in and did a solid job in helping the Browns fend off the Broncos. Now, with that said, we have some solid games on tap for tomorrow, as well as a Monday night affair. And with that said, here are my picks for week number 7 in the 2021 NFL season. Now, you're going to have the Green Bay Packers hosting Washington, and Green Bay comes into this game favored by 8 points. They've won their last 5 games. And most importantly, they still have number 12 slinging the football around. And I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. And whenever you have Aaron Rodgers, you have more than a winning chance. I do not like what I have seen so far, excuse me, defensively from Washington this season. And with that said, I think Green Bay will definitely take advantage of that at home. Thus, I'm going to take the pack by the score of 34-20. Now, an interesting one in Nashville is you're going to have the 4-2 Tennessee Titans hosting the 3-3 Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City has struggled this season. We have not seen the fluidity like we've seen in years past, but they still come into this contest favored by 4 over the Titans. These two teams, they have met in some very interesting clashes in recent years. It's gone back and forth. The Chiefs have won some, and the Titans have won some. I look at this game right here. The Chiefs' defense, which has been beleaguered, must be up for the challenge, and that challenge is Titans running back Derrick Henry. We have seen what Henry has done minus the first game of the season, and he's basically been unstoppable. We saw him just run through the Buffalo Bills defense this past Monday night on en route to helping the Titans win. And it's a situation here if the Chiefs allow Henry to get to that second level, good luck. I know that Taylor Lewan, the All-Pro offensive tackle, has a concussion. He'll be out for this game, but nonetheless, the Chiefs still have their hands full with number 22. On the flip side, this Titans defense, they've been up and down. They've had their moments, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can be up for the challenge of slowing down this Chiefs offense with quarterback Patrick Mahomes. I think this is going to be a very good game, a back and forth affair, and the last team to possess the football will win. Thus, I'm going to take Tennessee at home by the score of 34-31. Now, in South Florida, you're going to have the 1-5 Dolphins hosting the 2-3 Atlanta Falcons. And Miami won their first game of the season, and it has come apart at the seams for them since. The low point, obviously, for this team came last week over in England as the Dolphins lost to the winless Jacksonville Jaguars. Now they have to host a Falcons team who is coming in here off of a bye. And thus, that is part of the reason why Atlanta comes into this game favored by 2.5 points. The bottom line is the Falcons are 2-3, but they're trending upwards while the Dolphins are trending down. And I think the Dolphins are going to find a way to lose this game. Thus, I'm going to take Atlanta by the score of 24-20. Now, you're going to have the 1-4 New York Jets traveling to Foxborough to take on the 2-4 Patriots. Now, the Patriots are 2-4, and they have yet to win a home game. I mean, they've been very competitive. They lost a heartbreaker to Dolphins in week 1. They lost a tight one last week versus the Dallas Cowboys. And of course, a couple of weeks before that, they lost a tight one to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You look at this team, they're 2-4, and it's not because of the play of quarterback Mac Jones. He is very mature past his years in the league. On top of that, I keep saying it that the familiarity between the system that he played in Alabama and the one that he is playing with currently with the Patriots. Now, for the Patriots and the Jets, the last time these two teams met, life was tough for Jets quarterback, rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson. And I don't think it's going to get any easier here against Bill Belichick and company. Thus, I'm going to take New England at home by the score of 27-20. Now, moving right along, you're going to have the 1-5 New York Giants hosting the 3-3 Carolina Panthers. And for Carolina, They got off to that hot start. They were 3-0. They were in first place in the NFC South, and it's come apart pretty quickly for them. Their defense has issues, their offensive line has issues, and some of the same problems that plagued quarterback Sam Darnold during his time with the New York Jets are showing up again, most namely the turnovers. On the flip side for the Giants, they got run out of their building last week, literally, as they were dominated by one of the better teams in the NFL and the Los Angeles Rams as they fell 38-11. And honestly, the final score was not indicative of how much of a blowout that game really was. The Giants right now, I know that they are dealing with a slew of injuries, but it's pride. How are you going to play better? How are you going to be up for the challenge? It's two struggling teams. Somebody has to find a way to get the win, but I'm still going to take the Panthers to get back on track by the score of 24-17. Now you're going to have the 4-2 Cincinnati Bengals traveling to take on the 5-1 Baltimore Ravens. And the more injuries that the Ravens accrue, the better they seem to play. And I think the biggest thing for me is quarterback Lamar Jackson. You look at what he's doing as a runner, of course, but more importantly, you look at what Lamar is doing as a quarterback, as he is really becoming the total package before our very eyes. On the flip side, the Bengals are young and hungry, and they are competitive. But I'm going to give Baltimore the slight edge at home in this one by the score of 26-23. Now out in Vegas, you're going to have the 4-2 Las Vegas Raiders hosting the 2-4 Philadelphia Eagles. And I know that the Raiders are dealing with a lot of stuff off the field, but they really answered the bell last week as they went on the road and dominated the Denver Broncos. And they want to keep that momentum going. Derek Carr is playing some of the best football of his career at quarterback. And I think this team is really ready to rally. For Philadelphia, there were some people that were optimistic that the Eagles could be competitive in the NFC East this year. But I think that reality check is really starting to set in for this team. Excuse me. And I think the Raiders take advantage of that tomorrow. This I'm going to take the silver and black at home by the score of 30-20. Now, out in Inglewood, you're going to have the 5-1 Los Angeles Rams hosting the winless Detroit Lions. And of course, last year, it was Jared Goff, who was the quarterback for the Rams, and Matt Stafford, who was the quarterback for the Lions. And of course, we saw that big trade go down this offseason. And of course, Matt Stafford is playing like an MVP, while Jared Goff has basically just got caught up in the wash in Motown. You look at the Lions, they're competitive, but they're just not a good football team. And now they have to travel to take care of business against one of the best teams in the NFL. The Rams come into this game favored by 16 and a half points. I think Stafford has a big game, and I'm going to take the Rams to roll at home by the score of 41-10. Now, in the desert, you're going to have the only undefeated team in the NFL, the 6-0 Arizona Cardinals, hosting the 1-5 Houston Texans. And that's a big reason why Arizona comes into this game favored by 18 points. You look at Kyler Murray, he's playing like an MVP, but also you look at this defense, and they can really get after you. The Texans have so many issues, especially at the quarterback position right now. And that is a big reason why they're not going to be competitive in this game. This is going to take the Bird Gang by the score of 37-17. Now, down in Tampa, you're going to have the defending Super Bowl champions hosting the 3-3 Chicago Bears. Now, Tampa comes into this game favored by 11 and a half points, but they are dealing with a slew of injuries. Still no Rob Gronkowski at tight end. Still no Antonio Brown at wide receiver. And it's a situation right now for this club. They've got to go out there and they've got to find their depth. You know, Richard Sherman is out with the groin injury as well. So they're dealing with a lot right now. For Chicago and rookie quarterback Justin Fields, what can they do? What can they bring to the table? And how can they try to get things going? We saw the Bears compete last week, but they fell short at home versus the Green Bay Packers. It's not going to be as easy for the Bucks in this game. I know, like again, they're favored by 11 and a half points, but they're going to have to work, and I think they'll find a way to pull away late. But I'm going to take Tampa by the score of 37-24. Now on Sunday night, you're going to have the 2-4 Indianapolis Colts traveling to take on the 2-3 San Francisco 49ers. And the 49ers, they needed a bye week. They won their first two games and then they've lost their last three. And now they get the Colts coming into town. The Colts are 2-4. They've played a lot better than a 2-4 team, but unfortunately, they just have not always been able to get those results. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these teams is up for the challenge. I'm going to give San Francisco the slight edge at home, and I'm going to take them by the score of 24-23. And then finally on Monday Night Football, you are going to have the 3-2 New Orleans Saints traveling to take on the 2-4 Seattle Seahawks. And Seattle knows that they're not going to have the services of quarterback Russell Wilson for a while. He's out with that finger injury. And Seattle was very game last week, and they really had every opportunity to win that game. They did a good job of rallying around veteran backup quarterback Geno Smith, and I think they want to try to do that again this week. But they're facing a New Orleans team that is coming off of a bye. They're fresh, and they want to get back to their running game, and which will allow Jameis Winston to do his thing via play action. It's going to be a very interesting game on Monday night, but I'm going to give the Saints the edge as they win this one by the score of 27-20. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.